Welcome to Fairy Tale Teller, where we dive into timeless tales and forgotten folklore. Today, we bring you a story collected by the Brothers Grimm, a tale of courage, cunning, and sibling love. This is Hansel and Gretel. Barely enough food to eat. One night, as the children lay in bed, they overheard their stepmother speaking to their father. "We have too little to feed ourselves, let alone the children," she said. "Tomorrow, we must take them into the thickest part of the forest and leave them there. They will not find their way home, and we will be rid of them." Hansel and Gretel were terrified. Gretel wept bitterly, but Hansel comforted her. "Don't cry, Gretel. I will think of something." Early the next morning, before the sun had risen, their stepmother woke them. "Get up, you lazy children. We are going to the forest to fetch wood." She gave them each a small piece of bread. "Here is something for your lunch, but remember, it is all you will get." Hansel had a plan. As they walked into the forest, he dropped small white pebbles he had collected the night before, marking a trail. When they reached the deepest part of the forest, their father lit a fire and told them to rest while he and their stepmother went to chop wood. The children waited for a long time, but no one came to fetch them. When the moon rose, Hansel took Gretel's hand and followed the trail of pebbles back home. Their father was overjoyed to see them, but their stepmother was furious. She locked the door and scolded their father for being weak-hearted. "We must take them further into the forest tomorrow," she said. "They must not find their way back this time." Again, Hansel and Gretel overheard their stepmother's cruel plan. Hansel tried to gather more pebbles, but the door was locked. Instead, he crumbled his piece of bread and dropped the crumbs along the path. The next morning, their stepmother led them even deeper into the forest. Once again, the children waited by a fire until night fell. Hansel tried to follow the trail of crumbs, but to his dismay, the birds of the forest had eaten every last one. They wandered through the forest, lost and hungry. After 3 days, they came upon a strange house made entirely of bread, with windows of sugar and a roof of cakes. Starving, they began to eat the house. Suddenly, the door creaked open, and an old woman stepped out. "Nibble, nibble, little mouse, who is nibbling at my house?" she cackled. Hansel and Gretel were so hungry that they did not run away. The old woman smiled at them. "Come inside, dear children. You must be hungry and tired. I have plenty of food and a warm bed." The children followed her inside, not knowing that she was a wicked witch who lured children to her house to eat them. She locked Hansel in a cage and made Gretel her servant. "Fatten him up," she ordered, "and when he is plump, I shall eat him." For weeks, Gretel brought Hansel the best food while she herself ate scraps. Every day, the witch would check to see if Hansel was fat enough. But clever Hansel held out a bone he had found in his cage, and the witch, who had poor eyesight, thought it was his finger. "Why is he not getting fat?" she muttered in frustration. Finally, she could wait no longer. "Light the oven," she commanded Gretel. "Today, I will eat Hansel, fat or not." Trembling, Gretel approached the oven. The witch, suspecting a trick, peered into the oven. "Show me how to get inside," Gretel pleaded. "I don't know how." The witch, impatient, leaned into the oven to show her. Quick as a flash, Gretel shoved her inside and slammed the door. The witch screamed and thrashed, but it was too late. Gretel freed Hansel from his cage, and together they searched the witch's house. They found chests of precious stones and gold coins. "We will take these home," Hansel said. "We will never be hungry again." They filled their pockets and set off through the forest. After days of wandering, they found their way back home. Their father, who had been heartbroken since their disappearance, wept with joy to see them. The wicked stepmother had died, and the family lived happily ever after with the witch's treasures. And so, Hansel and Gretel's bravery and cleverness saved them from a terrible fate, and they learned that together, they could overcome any hardship. Thank you for joining us on Fairy Tale Teller. We hope you enjoyed this classic tale of Hansel and Gretel. Stay tuned for more enchanting stories from the Brothers Grimm and other timeless tales. Until next time, remember, no matter how dark the forest, courage and love will always light the way. Stay curious, stay kind, and keep listening.